Hi, and welcome to this online course. This course is being offered absolutely free of cost to ensure that it reaches all those in need, irrespective of social and economic circumstances. Also, through these courses, we want to achieve our vision to improve the lives of 1 million people. So please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Do go through the do's and don'ts of online learning before you start. Pause the video wherever required and make notes. Wish you all the very best and happy learning. Hi, and welcome to Certified Customer Service Expert, a free course to help companies drive excellence in customer service. To begin with, let us understand that customer service is an attitude and not just a department. Companies who think customer service is only limited to a department who's handling customers will definitely not prosper. So let's understand this before we start. First of all, let us go through the session plan. We will start with introduction to the course and course objectives. Then we will go on to define who is a customer, what is service, and what do you mean by customer service. Then we will understand the 7 P's of marketing. Then we will get into what is customer experience, creating moments of magic. Then we will understand how to move from customer satisfaction to customer delight. Then we will understand the journey of a customer in terms of any product or service you can think of. We will then understand how customer experience is influenced by today's technology. We will have a case study, exercise, and a quiz in the end. And the entire course will be ended with a session on queries and feedback. Let us now start with introduction to the course and course objectives. This course, Certified Customer Service Expert, is designed to achieve 3 key objectives as mentioned below. 1, to ensure that the learners understand the importance of great customer service, to enable learners to provide delight to customers every time, and to help learners understand and appreciate the role of technology in today's customer journey and experience. Any company who don't value their customer is definitely bound to fail. So this entire course is designed to ensure that the importance of customer service is understood and the ways of achieving customer delight, not just customer satisfaction, but to achieve customer delight each and every time the company is interacting with the customers is understood. Let us now get into defining who is a customer, what do you mean by service, and what is customer service. Who's a customer? Now, the definition of a customer can be given in multiple ways. Let us first look into an economic definition of a customer. In very simple terms, any person who buys goods and services from a business in exchange for a price, that is money, is called as a customer, right? Very easy to say this. But when we are talking about customer service, we need to understand customer in a very different way. That's why let us try and define customer in a very interesting way so that we are actually able to deliver customer delight as we are wanting to. A customer is the most important visitor on our premises. He is not dependent on us, we are dependent on him. He is not an interruption to our work, he is the purpose of it. He is not an outsider to our business, he is a part of it. And lastly, we are not doing a favor by serving him, he is doing us a favor by providing us the opportunity to do so. Why am I giving this very different and innovative kind of definition of a customer to you? Is the moment we start treating customer like given in this definition, we will be looking at the customer service in a very different angle altogether. What is a conventional method of looking at a customer if you think? Let us take example of say 1980s, when the market was not so consumer centric, it was more of a production centric market. Customer was not the important visitor on our premises. For instance, if a customer visited our manufacturing facility and the CEO of the company came, who was given more importance? Obviously the CEO of the company. But today this definition says CEO is not as important as a customer, because the business is there because of the customer, so he is the most important visitor. Number two, dependence. Companies, businesses used to think that yes, consumer wants us, he is dependent on us, right? So he wants product, so that's why he is coming to us. No, it is the other way around. If customer is not there, company is not there. So we are more dependent on the customer than the customer is dependent on us. Number three, about interruption. When customer used to come to our business place, people used to think that, yeah, come on, there is an interruption. Why is he interrupting our production or some work we are doing? No, it's not an interruption. It's the sole purpose of the work we are doing, right? And customer is always conventionally treated as an outsider to the business, but he's not an outsider. He's definitely the core part of our business. And lastly, no business should think that business is doing a favor by serving the customer. Again, it is the other way around. Consumer has a lot of choices today. If consumer is coming to you, a customer is coming to you, he is doing a favor by giving us the opportunity to serve him. So if we start understanding and treating the customer as given in this definition, we can take our customer service to the next level for sure. Let us now understand what is customer service. Customer service is about how a product or service is delivered to the customer. Any company we can think of can have either a product which is a touch and feel kind of a output, or a service which is basically cannot be expressed in terms of quantitative terms, right? How this product or service is delivered is all about customer service. From customer perspective, customer service includes many things like accessibility of the product or service, efficiency with which the product or service is delivered, cost effectiveness of the product or solution, and the overall satisfaction the customer derives from the experience. Basically, what is the customer experience in the entire process of dealing with the company or the organization is known as customer service. Let us also quickly understand the difference between product and service. Because we are talking about customer service, though product is involved, we are talking more about the service part for the product, right? So let's understand the difference first. Basically, a product is something which is tangible, which can be seen, which can be touched, which can be felt. Service is basically intangible. You can't touch and feel it, but you can experience it. There are a lot of examples. A car, an automobile, for example, is a product, right? At the same time, servicing of the automobile is intangible. Now that is a service. Mobile phone is a product. If your mobile phone is not working, you want to go and get it serviced, then it is a service. You can't, that service cannot be expressed in terms of quantity. It is just an experience. Let us take some examples of services as well. Call center, customer care. When you have a problem, you call the Airtel or Vodafone customer care. Now that is a service. The way they handle you, your query, how it is resolved is an experience, right? A salon is a perfect example for service. They use a lot of products. They use scissors, they use comb, they use different types of moisturizers, creams, etc. But all said and done, you are not buying anything from there. You are just going there to get a service of, say, for example, haircut or a massage or manicure or something. It's a very intangible service, and it's very difficult for you to actually tell that, okay, now this is better than that, because it is intangible. The way that you get the experience in that particular outlet is the basis for you to either recommend that particular service to someone, or definitely not recommend it and talk negative about that service to your people or your references, correct? Now this is the basic difference between product and service. With this, we come to an end of defining what is a service, who's a customer, and what is customer service. Now you understand that when we are talking about service, it is a little more complicated than a pure product. Yes, product is a very complicated thing to manufacture, but service, it adds to the complexity, because all said and done, service is totally intangible. Now that we understand who's a customer, what is service, the definition of customer service, etc., let us now get into 7 P's of marketing. What are these 7 P's? Basically, the 4 P's, 7 P's, these are all called as marketing mix. The tools that marketers use to market their product or service to the target customers. Now that is called as 4 P's model or 7 P's model of marketing. Why is it important for us to understand this while we are doing customer service course? This plays an important role because using this we can understand how complicated it gets when it is a service as compared to a product. Now, 4 P's model is for product marketing. The first 4 P's which you can see on the screen, that is product, price, place, and promotion. Now these are the 4 P's of product marketing. But when we talk about services marketing, there are 3 more P's which gets added to this and becomes 7 P's of service marketing. The new 3 P's which are added are people, process, and physical evidence. I'll take few examples so that the 7 P's of marketing or marketing mix becomes very clear to you. To begin with, let's assume a product, say a car, an automobile. So the same example which I took to explain you the difference between product and service. Now, car is a very tangible product we are talking about, and the marketing mix of this particular product will have 4 P's, which are product, price, place, and promotion. Let's go one by one to understand it. What is product? Product is the final product you are selling itself, which is a car. Now, in order for you to make sure that the car is suitable for the target market, you need to be very, very careful about the quality of the product you are manufacturing, the features you are adding, the advantages, benefits. Basically, it is all about the final product you are talking about. What are the new features you have added? If you are talking about an automobile, is there a Bluetooth connectivity available? Is there temperature control which is available? Power windows, power steering? What kind of brake system is there? How many gears? Is it auto gear shift? All these things are related to the product. So once your product is ready, then is the question of pricing. What is the price point at which this particular product car is available to your target customer? So are you targeting a customer who is, say, upper middle class? If your car is, for example, a luxury car like BMW or Mercedes, then your target customer is a very different audience, and you can fix a price which is a slightly higher than a normal family car. But when you are talking about a target customer who is, say, a middle class target customer, you need to take into consideration that while fixing your price. So if you see Maruti Swift, for example, Swift is not a high-end car. It is a car made for a normal middle class individual who is wanting to upgrade from probably a 2-wheeler to a 4-wheeler. That's why the pricing strategy of that particular car is also based on the target customer. Next comes place. So what do you mean by place? Where will my target customers get this product? I am talking about a car. How will the final end consumer or customer get to buy this product? Now, in this example, they'll be focusing on dealerships. Now, the Maruti Suzuki company manufactures their cars in Gurgaon, somewhere in North India. From there, they cannot sell the product to every customer in India, right? Customers are absolutely dispersed all over the country. So that's why they need a model of dealership in order to distribute all their end products and make it available to the customers. Now that is called as place. In this, the strategies involved are about distribution of the product or service so that it is made available to the final end customer or the target customer of the business. Number 4, when it comes to target marketing of a product, promotion. What is promotion? Okay, you have a beautiful product ready, you have priced it keeping the target consumer in mind, you have made sure that the product is available wherever the customer is there, but how will you make sure that the customer knows about your product? That is where the promotion plays a very important role. You need to promote in order to make sure the communication about the product reaches the right customer. For promotion, companies implement a lot of strategies like newspaper advertisements, hoardings, TV advertisement, radio ads, paper inserts, digital marketing. In this new technology era, digital marketing is taking place. They conduct many shows in order to launch the new model of their cars. All these are part of their promotion strategy. Now, these are the 4 P's which are very important for a product: product, price, place, and promotion. Now, let us now take an example of a pure service. Say Upgrad. Upgrad is a startup who provide online learning to corporate customers and individual learners who want to upskill their skills. They want to learn something new. Upgrad provides online courses for them. This is a pure service, right? So let's understand this 4 P's which we have already discussed for a product, plus the additional 3 P's for services, taking this particular example of Upgrad. What is the product here? Product in this case is nothing but the service we are talking about, which is online learning. Pricing, again the same. The pricing for the courses will be fixed, or strategy will be made based on the target consumer in mind. Place, how was this particular service made available to the target customers? Now, in case of Upgrad, it is a mobile app, it is a website, or whatever. That is the place or the platform through which the product is made available to the customer. Promotion, of course, similar to a product, even services are promoted through different channels, as we have talked, either online or offline. Now comes the additional 3 P's. Number 1, people. Who are the people involved in providing this particular service? Very recently, I did a free course on Upgrad Marketing Fundamentals, where one of the resource persons was an adjunct faculty in Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. Now, this particular faculty who was giving this course is the people involved in this particular service. Like that, who are the different people involved in providing the service? That becomes a very, very important thing when it comes to a service, which is not so important in product, right? In a car, you are not bothered who's actually standing in the assembly line to fix the car. But here in service, because you are getting that experience of learning from the people involved, you are very keen to know who are the people who are involved in providing the service. Next comes process. What is the process of delivery of this particular service? In case of Upgrad, how is the entire experience of learning delivered in Upgrad app or their website? Do they have how's the entire experience? All right, do they have some polls, or do they have quizzes, do they have assignments? How is the entire thing judged, assessed? How is the certificate provided? All these things is nothing but the process which is involved in the service. Last but not the least, physical evidence. When you complete the course and you get a certificate printed, signed, and couriered to your address, you get it in your hand. Now that is something which you can touch and feel. That's the physical evidence of the service. What else can be a physical evidence? Upgrad conducts a lot of online workshops and seminars. You go to some place and attend one of the seminars of Upgrad, where you can see a lot of people wearing their ID cards, their office, their infrastructure. Now all these are physical evidence to the service which is provided by Upgrad. This is the model of 7 P's, or the marketing mix of services marketing. I hope you understand the complexity involved when it comes to services. Just to summarize, products have only 4 P's in their marketing mix: product, price, place, and promotion. When it comes to services, there are additional 3 P's which get added, which are people, process, and physical evidence. Till now, we have kind of understood the introduction to customer service, differences between product and service, etc. Now let us get into customer experience. Now, this is the core of giving a great customer service. Let's understand how we can give moments of magic. Think, what are those few exceptional experiences as a customer which you really remember? I would recommend you to pause the video at this point, go back into your memory and think, what were those few instances in your life as a consumer or a customer which you really remember very, very well? I have some of the experiences which are very memorable as a customer. One experience I keep sharing with my learners is the experience I had in the mobile store. I visited mobile store to buy some phone for my cousin. I was just accompanying him. I was not having any plans to buy anything for me. So we went to the store. We met a customer service executive. He came to us. The first thing he did is he noticed that me and my cousin were talking in the native language Kannada, and he was also a Kannadiga. So he started talking to us in Kannada first. Okay, instead of normally what they do is they start conversation in English. He started in Kannada, and he was not bothered about the product or demonstrating the product. He first made sure that he made a very good relationship with both of us. He understood what is the requirement of my cousin, showed a beautiful handset which is absolutely suited for the requirement, and the sale was done. Now, in the process, what this executive did is he also understood what is the kind of job I am doing. And I'm talking about experience quite a few years back. During that time, BlackBerry was in rage. A lot of people, especially professionals, use BlackBerry phones because it was very easy to handle emails on a BlackBerry phone. So what this customer executive did is he observed which is the phone I'm using at that point. I was having some Nokia handset. He said, "Sir, you are using a Nokia handset. I understand that you are a working professional and use a lot of emails. Have you ever tried a BlackBerry phone?" So to be honest with you, many of my friends and colleagues were using BlackBerry. Somewhere back of my head, I had this idea of buying a BlackBerry phone, but I never really took that initiative. So I said, yeah, I know BlackBerry phone. I've used it before, and I've seen a lot of my friends using it, but yeah, I have not bought it yet. So he took me to a bay where there was a demo set of BlackBerry, working demo set. He made me use that phone. He explained the features so beautifully. I ended up buying a BlackBerry phone that day. Now, when I came back home, I started thinking, what happened? I was not even having a plan to buy a phone. I just went to accompany my cousin, but I ended up buying a phone which was quite costly at that point of time. Now, that's an experience I'll really remember. And you know what made that experience so special? It was only and only the customer service executive who was there, who the way he talked to us, the way he marketed his products, the way he closed the sale, that's what meant everything of this experience. I really hope that you also have a lot of experiences in your minds which was very special as for you as a customer. It can be when you have called a call center, it can be when you have visited a store or anything. American Express is one company. I mean, I am not sure about today, but you call the call center of American Express, they'll ensure that your problem is resolved before they cut the call. That's very, very special. And this experience is not with some one or two agents, but every time you call, you'll get the same kind of experience. So these are some experiences I do remember really well. Now let's understand what creates these kind of experiences in the minds of customer. Now I just shared an experience of almost 10 to 12 years back with you people. That means I still remember that experience of the mobile store. And the mobile store wants it or not, the name, the brand has come in this particular course as well, right? Now, what is that which creates these? Now, that's the key things which we are going to learn here in this session. There are three things which any customer interaction can create. One is called moments of magic. Second is moments of mediocrity. Third is moments of misery. Remember something, Moments of mediocrity are those which are very normal experiences. So let's start with that first. Customer feels just all right about the entire experience, moderate customer interaction. So we do a lot of interactions with a lot of companies and product service providers where the interaction is moderate. Okay, the experience was all right. It was not great. It was not bad either, right? Now, these are called moments of mediocrity. Okay, just to survive, this is fine, no problem. But that's not enough to give a great customer service. Customers will definitely tend to remember moments of misery and moments of magic, right? Moments of magic is the examples which we shared in the earlier slide. Moments of misery, I'm sure again, we'll have a lot of experiences where the experience was so horrible that again, that has the experience is etched in our memory. Customers tend to go and talk about a moment of misery with more people than they talk about the moments of magic. So giving moments of misery is very, very dangerous. So what creates moments of misery? Customer feels disrespectful, insulted, ignored, or indifferent. Very bad customer interaction. Wherever we are talking, please, if you think there is a importance for you to go back to your memory and take some experiences, pause the video and do that. All right. Moments of misery is that where you as a customer enter a showroom, for example. No one is talking to you. No one is even asking, why have you come here? People are not giving you respect or value as a customer. People are just indifferent. They are working on their own. They are not even bothered to look at you and ask you, why are you here? And the interaction is very poor, very bad. That's where a moment of misery is created. And trust me, I and you also as customers will never go back to that particular company or organization again. Now let's understand about moments of magic. One or two experiences which we talked in the earlier slide were the moments of magic, where customer feels really valued, respected, cared for, and important. Customer feels he is deeply engaged. If you remember the mobile store experience I talked about, what did that customer care executive or the customer service executive do? He engaged in conversation with me. He was not just interacting with me, he was engaging with me. There is a huge difference between interaction and engagement. He made sure I felt valued and respected. I felt cared for because he said, you are a corporate employee, you use a lot of emails. Why don't you take this phone? It will help you a lot. He was selling the phone as if he was really caring for me. To be honest, you should not just pretend, but you should actually care. That's what he was showcasing in his interactions. And he made me feel really important. That's when the moment of magic is created, right? Remember this: interaction, engagement, making the customer feel valued, respected, and important, cared for is very important to create a moment of magic. Let's quickly understand. I said you need to engage with your customer, right? When you are engaging with your customer, it is not just interaction which will work out, but you have to engage. In order to engage, you need to do conversations which are engaging. In that, listening plays a very important role. Many people get confused between listening and hearing. Okay, let's understand the difference. Now, listening has a process which is shown on the screen right now. The entire process starts from hearing. Right now, you are going through this particular course. I am sure you are not hearing to what I am saying, but you are listening. But the process starts from hearing. Right now, if you take a pause, you'll be able to hear a lot of other sounds apart from me talking to you. Now that's hearing, that's a sensation, it's involuntary. You want it or not, there are a lot of sounds which are coming and falling on your ears. But in the listening, what happens is it goes to the next step, which is selection. Right now, you are selecting my particular speech or talking, and you are basically sorting it and taking that particular thing inside your brain to process. Now that's the second stage of selection or sorting. The third stage is interpretation. You are trying to interpret what I am saying and making some meaning out of my entire talking. Now that's the third part. Fourth part is evaluation or assessment. You are evaluating, I'm sure. You are not taking everything what I am saying just like that. You are evaluating whether it is right or not. When I say think about an experience. You are going back and thinking about an experience, coming back and saying, oh yes, what he's saying makes sense, or it doesn't make sense, whatever it is. That's called evaluation or assessment. Till fourth stage, 1, 2, 3, and 4, you can call it as listening. When you add the fifth one, or the response or feedback, it becomes active listening. In this case, though this is a virtual session, we make sure that we get the feedback and response from our participants using comments, likes, shares, feedback email, calling on the phone, and so many things. When you do that is when the process of listening is complete. Then it becomes active listening. Please remember, when you are talking to your customer, don't just talk, don't just interact, but get into an engaging conversation through deep active listening. Traditionally, companies focus on customer satisfaction. Not that it is not important to focus on customer satisfaction, but it is more important to move from that thought of customer satisfaction to customer delight. So let's now understand what are we actually talking about. In the last session, we discussed about three things in terms of customer experience. One, moments of misery. Second, moments of mediocrity. Third, moments of magic. When you create a lot of moments of miseries for your customer, it leads to customer dissatisfaction. Definitely not okay. Now, a dissatisfied customer will go and talk negative about your brand, product, or service to a large number of people. It is going to kill the brand image like anything, right? So there is no point of even thinking about giving moments of misery to your customers or customer dissatisfaction. I said conventionally or traditionally, companies were focusing on giving customer satisfaction. Now, how is customer satisfaction derived? Just by giving moments of mediocrity. You do what you are supposed to do, okay? You are a company who is supposed to provide XYZ service. You are doing it. Customer is satisfied. Now, he is not dissatisfied, but at the same time, he is not too happy also. He is just satisfied with your service. Now, I'm not saying this is bad, but this is not too good either, right? Now, customer is not going to go and talk about your service to a lot of people because your service is just okay. I mean, anyone would give the same kind of service. You're also giving the same kind of service so that you're okay. You can't get customer loyalty by just giving moments of mediocrity or just customer satisfaction. You as a service provider needs to give a lot of moments of magic to the customer in order for the customer to feel delighted. Only a delighted customer would go and talk about your brand to a lot of people, and through word of mouth, the brand image and the sale of your product or service is going to increase. Let me take an example. Let's take a service like a hair cutting salon, okay? A very simple service, and most of us would go to a small hair cutting salon every month or 2 months once. Let's take one example for all the three: dissatisfaction, satisfaction, and delight. When are you dissatisfied with the service? You go for a haircut, you enter there, a lot of people are sitting, you try to enter, the person who is there to service is not even bothered to look at you, not even say a hi, hello, nothing. He's just indifferent to you because he has a lot of customers, he doesn't care. You are definitely dissatisfied. Maybe next time you will not choose to go there, and you will also tell a lot of people around your apartment not to visit that particular hair salon, right? Let's see what is customer satisfaction. You go to one more place. When you enter, you are greeted with a smile. You go and sit. He asks you to wait because there are 2 people already in the queue. They are done. You go, you sit, you ask for your requirements. He does a right haircut for your requirement and you come out. Simple, satisfied service, okay? You may or may not go back to the same place, and you may or may not talk about this service to a lot of people because it was just moments of mediocrity which you received, which you might receive in any other salon like the same. Now let's take the example of customer delight. You enter a haircutting salon, The moment you enter, this person greets you with a good smile. He says, "Good morning, sir. Please come." He asks you to take a seat, gives you a magazine of your choice to read, and he says, "Sir, it will take 20 minutes more for me to service you." Or if it is taking too much of time, he might say, "Sir, it will take 45 minutes. I'll make a note of your name. Why don't you go and finish some work and come back?" Now, this is something which you have not expected from a person who is doing a haircut, right? You feel really delighted. You feel you are important, you are valued, your time is valued. And when you go and sit for the haircut, the way he interacts with you, the way he engages with you, asks for your requirement and gives the haircut, maybe he'll give some additional services for you like head massage or something. Beautiful. At the end of the service, if the price what he has asked for is say 280 rupees, you would give 300 rupees and you'll not even ask for change, right? Because you are delighted with the customer service. And when you come out of some service like this, you tend to talk about this with a lot of people. When you're talking to your friends, your relatives, or your neighbors, colleagues, you will talk about this service and you make sure that you send at least one or two people in your references to that particular shop. That is the power of customer delight. Let's quickly understand three key benefits of providing customer delight. All right. One, customer retention and repeat orders. As explained in the last example as well, you are definitely going back to the same service provider, so you are retained as a customer. Plus, you will give a lot of repeat orders to the brand or the company. Number two, brand recall. If you are talking about a brand, if you are providing customer delight time and again, the brand recall is very, very high. And when the brand recall is high, whenever any customer thinks about that particular product or service, he'll be getting back to only your brand. Number three, of course, when there are customer retention, repeat orders, and of course referrals from the retained loyal customers, your profitability is definitely going to increase. So in this graph also you can see your service is at the top. That means you are providing customer delight all the time. Your reputation, that is your brand, will be having a lot of recall. Of course, the end result is increased profitability for you as a company and a brand. Till now, we have understood who's a customer, what is service, we have defined customer service, we understood the difference between product and service in terms of tangibility, also marketing mix. We understood what is customer experience and creating moments of magic. How is the journey from customer satisfaction, which was the focus earlier in traditional companies, to today's new age organizations, which is customer delight. Now let's move on to the next session of a customer journey. Whatever company you are in, either as an entrepreneur or as an employee, all the companies will be providing either a product or a service, and your customers will be going through some kind of a journey. It's very important for you to know what is the journey which a customer is taking from the beginning till the end, so that you can focus on providing customer delight at every stage. Let's now understand how this customer journey takes place. Journey of a customer starts with a market buzz. It moves on to interest, then research, approach, purchase, post-purchase interaction, and finally either customer satisfaction or delight. Again, it moves on to market buzz. Let me explain this entire customer journey taking one particular example so that it is more clear to you. Let's say you are planning to buy a new laptop. You are using a Windows laptop and you now want to go for a iMac or an Apple laptop. How do you come to know about this particular laptop? Is through some ads which you can see on the social media, or some advertisements in Amazon or Flipkart, like e-commerce websites, or the newspaper ads you see when you are reading your daily newspapers. All this basically is called as market buzz. Now this market buzz is basically created by organizations, in this case Apple. Either it is paid or it can be unpaid, like word of mouth, referrals. If your friend is using an iMac and he is very happy with it, he might keep talking about you regarding the features, advantages and benefits of that product, and you are also kind of influenced to buy that particular laptop. Now that also is a market buzz. Now that is unpaid. All this adds up to market buzz for this particular product. This market buzz ends up in creating an interest in your mind to buy this particular product, which is iMac. You are interested now. Though you are interested, you will not directly just go and buy this laptop, right? You will definitely do a research because it is a kind of high value purchase. How do you do research? Again, you can talk to your friends, you can talk to your colleagues, you can talk to your family members whether you can buy this particular product or not. Then go to online websites, review websites. You can go and visit a lot of stores and do some research. All these are part of the third stage of the customer journey, which is researching about the particular product. So finally, when you are completely satisfied with your research and you have freezed that you want to buy this particular iMac or MacBook Air, for instance, that's the product you have freezed upon. Now you will approach. Okay, in this case, what is approach? Approach is going to that particular Apple store to buy the product. That's called approach. That's the fourth stage in the customer journey. When you approach the store, the interaction with the customer service executive there starts. He might show you few more options in the same brand which you can go for. He might talk about financing options. You can talk about many other features, benefits. So many things happens, and finally you go for the next stage of your customer journey, which is purchase. So you end up buying that particular product, MacBook Air. Post purchase, what happens is there will be some interaction with the brand or the company, which is called post purchase interaction, either for updating your software or for getting the laptop serviced or for buying some accessories for your laptop. For instance, maybe it is a charger, it is a connector for projector or anything. Now that is called post purchase interaction. All the stages which you have passed through, either you are getting moments of misery, moments of mediocrity, or moments of magic, through which either you are completely dissatisfied with the product and service, you are just satisfied, or you are delighted. So that is the next stage of the customer journey, either customer satisfaction, dissatisfaction, or customer delight. Now this particular experience adds to the market buzz. Now what happens to the market buzz? Either you as a customer will go on social media and talk about your product, that it is very, very good, or if you are highly dissatisfied, you might go and write very bad reviews about that particular dealership, store, or that particular product, and saying that please don't purchase this particular brand, it is giving a lot of problems, right? Now that adds to the market buzz. It can be either positive or negative. Then again the customer journey starts. I hope you understand how the customer journey is happening. Now I have taken an example of Apple laptop, but it can be anything here. If you take even a pure service like the Upgrad learning course, for instance, that also happens in the same way, right? Now Upgrad markets using a lot of email marketing, digital marketing on Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. So you get to know about Upgrad through something or the other, where it is known as market buzz, or some of your contacts or colleagues might have completed some course and they have published the certificate on their social media handle. From somewhere you get to know about the Upgrad course. There is some interest which is created in you, right? Now that interest, you'll not just go and take it because there are many more options available in the market. You'll go and do a little bit of research about how are the courses, etc. You can probably go to their website, check the reviews of the earlier learners, talk to few friends and family, something, right? So through which you do a good research about the brand you are looking for and the competitor brands. Then you'll of course approach, in case of Upgrad, how will you approach Upgrad? You'll just probably download the app, or you will log into their website to check what are the different courses which are available. Finally, you will end up purchasing one or two courses which you want. Once you have purchased, you go through the experience of learning on the app or on the platform. Then there is a post-purchase interaction. It can be query resolution, feedback, getting a certificate. All those things are a part of post-purchase interaction. In all these stages put together, either you will be having a lot of moments of magic, moments of misery, or moments of mediocrity, which will create either dissatisfaction, satisfaction, or customer delight, based on which you will also as a customer end up in adding to the market buzz, and the journey continues. I hope you are clear about this customer journey. I repeat, the reason for you to understand this customer journey is when you are talking, interacting, and engaging with your customer, you should very well know what is the journey he is taking to get your final product or service. When you know it, you can provide customer delight in each and every stage of the customer journey. Next session is technology and customer experience. We understand what is customer experience, how to create moments of magic, giving customer delight every time, and the customer journey. This entire course will definitely be incomplete if you are not considering the technology we are seeing right now in today's world. How does technology impact our customers' experience today? Let us understand in this session. What is the role of technology? There are many things which are happening in this highly technical world nowadays, which is impacting even the customer experience. One, high internet penetration. So if you consider, say, around 2 decades back, 20 years back, the internet penetration was very, very low. The focus of marketing was mainly on giving television ads, newspaper ads, ads on radios. It was kind of costly to reach the customers also. Nowadays, the internet penetration is so good. If we consider India, almost 50% of our population, which is good 70 to 75 crores of people, they have internet connectivity. Not only in cities, the internet, that too high speed internet, is available in small towns and villages also nowadays. Thanks to so many technological advancements in telecommunication and IT, some of the crises which is happening globally, like COVID-19, have also ended up in increase of this internet penetration. Number two, there is a high smartphone usage. Earlier, internet, okay, earlier in the sense, let me take 1 decade back, the internet was usually accessed on computers or maximum on laptop for some people, but it was never on a smart device, which is happening nowadays. The smartphone penetration has also increased like crazy. Everyone now has a smartphone and they can access a lot of information on their smartphone itself, in their hand, wherever they are. That's the change which has taken place recently. There are a lot of emerging technologies which are coming up. Not only the internet and smartphone, some technologies like artificial intelligence, for instance. I'm sure you have heard of Siri or Alexa. Now, all these are really AI-enabled devices. What is AI? I'm just giving you a introduction to artificial intelligence. Suppose you are using Google Maps, all right? So you regularly use Google Maps to go from your home to office. Sometimes we ourselves give a lot of data to Google, like this is our home location, this is our office location, etc. Every day you leave office at around 6:30 p.m., say for instance. And this is already there. I'm just giving you an example. Around 6:15, there is a pop-up or notification on your phone which says, if you leave at the usual time, you will take 30 minutes more in the current traffic conditions. Now, this is artificial intelligence, because your Google Maps in your smartphone knows that every day, almost every day, you leave at 6:30 from your office to reach your home. And today, based on the traffic conditions in the normal route you take, if you leave at the normal time, You will take 30 minutes more. Now, this is artificial intelligence for you. In manufacturing, there are many new technologies like machine learning, robotics, which are taking many important roles. This is the, I would say, the burst of technology which we are seeing today. And that also has an influence in every step of customer journey. In the last session, we went through the customer journey, which any customer like you and me will take in order to receive the product or service. Let's now understand what is the role of this technology in this entire journey. I have taken the same stages of customer journey starting from market buzz. Market buzz, how is technology enabling to increase the market buzz? Of course, digital marketing. Marketing is much more focused today using digital tools than it was in the earlier days. Facebook, Twitter, even the new social media platforms like TikTok, everyone is enabling focused advertising to the customers, which is adding to the market buzz. Next, in the level of interest, if you think, how is technology playing a part? If you have heard of big data and analytics, every data of the consumer today is being tracked. When you're using your smartphone, Facebook is also on, right? So it is tracking your usage pattern, how much time you are spending on, say, one particular page of Amazon e-commerce website. So it knows, it tracks every behavior of a consumer, and this data is called as big data because it is not one or two people which it is tracking, but huge number of crores of people, and the data is actually very huge. And to make sense of it, analytics is used. There are a lot of tools and softwares which will help to make sense of this kind of a big data, based on which beautifully target marketing can be done in order to generate interest in the potential customers. You might have seen that if you are interested in buying a laptop, without your knowledge, you'll be seeing the advertisements of laptop when you're opening your Facebook, in your emails, in a lot of places. How does that happen? That's all through big data analytics and target marketing. Number 3, consumer journey also has research in it. Now, online tools like Google, online platforms, review sites, so many things are helping in the research of a consumer. Research is not only limited to talking to people, but these technologies are also helping consumer to do a lot of research. What happens next? In purchase decision, in approach, okay, let's next move to approach. While the customer is approaching the brand or the company, there are again a lot of technology interventions which are happening through IVRS, online forms and applications, so many things which are technology enabled for the customer to approach the brand. Next stage is purchase. In purchase also there are tech enabled demo. If you go to, for example, say Nexa is a brand or a dealership of Maruti which are for high end cars like S-Cross or Baleno, etc. If you go there, the demo of the car, virtual demo of the car is given using a tablet. Okay, that was never heard of in the earlier days. That is the kind of tech enabling which is happening. Payments are getting digital. Instead of doing cash payments or check payments, today people are paying through NEFT or Google Pay. That's the kind of influence of technology. Even in post purchase, lot of things are happening automated. You'll get an automated call for the service of your automobile. You'll get automated calls if you want to recharge your mobile phones. Again, role of technology. Consumers are raising complaints on online forums. On Twitter, Facebook, you can see a lot of complaints being raised on social media, and even the resolutions are happening online. Now, in this entire journey, you can see that technology has a huge role to play, and we can't just neglect this and say that, okay, we'll only give a good service to customer when the customer physically walks into us and he is talking to us face to face. No, you can't do that in today's world. You need to understand the huge role which the technology is playing in customer journey, and you have to tweak and customize your service in order to provide customer delight in every stage of your customer journey. We are now nearing to the end of this course, Certified Customer Service Expert. We'll now understand what is the case study or exercise which you are going to do for this particular course. Do remember that exercise and quiz is mandatory for getting a certificate for this course. Assuming yourself to be the owner of a car showroom, selling and servicing automobiles, write a 3-page write-up on how your customer journey is going to be and ways in which you will enhance the customer's experience in every step to provide moments of magic and of course customer delight. In the course, we have explained the customer journey and the different things taking different examples, but here in the assignment you are supposed to think, research, analyze and write a 3-page write-up on customer journey thinking that you are a car showroom owner. All right, so which is both selling and servicing automobiles. So you have to think of everything, the product, service, 7 P's of marketing, etc., which were discussed in the entire course. There will be a quiz for this particular course which will have around 20 questions. The link for the same will be shared with only those who are interested in certification. This is the sample certificate you are going to get post successful completion of the assessment and the quiz. With this, we come to an end of the session. If you have any questions or queries, or if you have a feedback to give regarding the entire course, you can email us at arunsacademyforsuccess@gmail.com. Please remember, the customer's perception is your reality. What does that mean? Whatever picture you give to your customers, you might be a very good brand, you might be giving very good service to 99% of your customers, but if the 1% customer receives a very bad experience from your customer service, that is the reality for you. You can't say that, oh, no, we give very good service to most of them. No, whatever your customer experiences is the reality, and that becomes your brand image. So please ensure that you keep all the things which were discussed in this course in your mind. Treat the customer as the king. He is not an interruption, he is the very purpose of the business. Remember to create moments of magic through which you are not just giving customer satisfaction, but you are giving customer delight each and every time in the entire journey of the customer, so that you can really create a brand which is going to be highly sustainable and which can make profits in the long run. We hope that through this course we were able to provide high value to you to enable you to give great customer service to your customers. Thank you so much and wish you all the very best.
Congratulations on completing this online course. We hope you derived a lot of value from it. What next? 1. Implement the learning from the course in your personal and professional life. 2. Like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. 3. If you want to get a certificate, please do email your interest to us. In order to get a certificate, you are supposed to complete a quiz as well as the exercise or the project as explained in the course. Once you complete your assessment, the certificate will be issued. Note that the price for the e-certificate is rupees 399 and for hard copy certificate is rupees 699 plus GST. This price is to ensure that we are covering our expenses of course creation and certification process. Once you email us your interest for certification, you will be receiving an invoice. Post payment, you will get a payment receipt as well as the link for the assessment. Getting the certificate as shown in the course is purely your choice. Thanks a lot for choosing Arun's Academy for your learning needs. Please do get back to us in case of any query or clarification, or if you have any training requirements. Do write your feedback regarding this course. We at Arun's Academy wish you all the very best. Keep learning and keep growing.